You're already in it. The Matrix. You're in there with Neo. A system where your time, your effort, your energy is quietly and secretly extracted from you. Taxes, fees, cost of living. That's what we see. But the extraction, that's hidden. You've been told it's normal, that it's the only option. It is not. There's another model, the grid or the quantum economy, where your contribution connects to the whole and value flows back. So this is the choice: matrix or grid, extraction or exchange. That's the awakening. People are like water. We move through the landscape of our lives the same way water moves through a terrain. We follow the path of least resistance and the path of greatest gain. That's not a flaw, that's survival. It's a mechanism built over millions of years of evolution. Find what works, repeat it, and stay alive. And in today's economy, survival has been reduced to one thing and one thing only: money. There is no real safety net, no structural guarantee of stability. So, what do people do? They chase excess, not because they're greedy, but because they're rational. Because if you don't have enough tomorrow, you don't survive. So the system quietly trains everyone not to be good, not to be moral or collaborative, but to maximize your chance of survival. And that's not an indictment of people. It really isn't. It's a reflection of the architecture. In fact, if you think about it, the people who have mastered the system, the ones who optimized it, the ones who've figured out how to win in the money economy, they're not the problem. They're the proof. They're proof that humans will adapt, compete, and excel within whatever system they're given. But that raises a more important question. What could those same people do if the system rewarded something different? If instead of extraction, it rewarded contribution? If instead of scarcity, it rewarded building? If instead of optimizing against the system, they were optimizing for each other? What would that look like? That's where right action architecture comes in. Because here's the truth: most systems ignore. People will always act in their own immediate interest, always. You can't regulate that away, you can't moralize it, and you can't educate against it. We will survive, period. So, if you're designing a society or an economy that runs a society, you don't start with rules. And you definitely don't apply rules that oppose incentives. You start with survival. You ensure it through the tribe, through the system itself, and then you design incentives. Incentives that align the individual with the whole, because behavior doesn't follow intention. Behavior follows architecture. Right action architecture is not a moral philosophy, it's engineering. It's the deliberate design of a system where the easiest path is also the right path, where creating value for yourself and for others is the same act, where harmful behavior isn't punished after the fact. It simply stops being a rational choice in the first place. That's the illusion we've been living inside. We've been trying to regulate a system that is structurally designed to produce the very outcomes we say we don't want. You can't regulate your way out of a broken incentive system. You cannot subsidize your way out of engineered scarcity. And you cannot moralize your way out of a currency that rewards harm. If the architecture is wrong, the outcomes will always be wrong. But if the architecture is right, everything changes. Competition shifts from fighting over scarcity to competing for excellence. Contribution replaces extraction. Cooperation replaces zero sum thinking. And integrity stops being an exception. It becomes the default. A system built this way becomes self correcting, self renewing, and self stabilizing. Not because people changed, but because the system is finally aligned with who we are. That's what right action architecture is. It's not a theory, it's the foundation of what comes next. And if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.